Hello folks, it's January the 20th 2020 and I thought I'd give you an update how the garden's going. I've repaired all this, got my veggie garden going again. My sourshops are going really well, they're really enjoying this summer weather. I've just given everything a heavy dose of dolomite. I've watered everything, then thrown the dolomite on, so the dolomite tends to stick to all the plants, and this sort of helps kill bugs and everything. And I'll leave that on for as long as possible. Perhaps it's pretty cloudy and raining at the moment, so nearly every night, so I may not have to water for a while, but if it gets dry I'll just water it in. This garden doesn't really get much rain because it's underneath the veranda, but when it's cloudy like this it doesn't need much water, and it's always very shady in this spot. So I'll just leave that on as long as possible. But as soon as I do water, it'll just wash straight in. And yeah, I've got a few new vegetables that I plan to plant out the back. I've got that's perennial spinach there, basil, some more perennial spinach, some celery, more basil, and some more celery. So yeah, hopefully that'll go out the back soon. Got an interesting new little plant that I bought from up North Queensland. That's a little J33 jackfruit. It seems to be coming along quite well. I got it in a little tube, potted it on, and it's quite happy in this hot summer weather. Might slow down in winter though. Yeah, happy with how the sourshops are going. They're growing quite well. Yeah, I've been picking heavy out of this garden too, by the way. It's very cramped. I've packed a lot of veggies in so I can prune them hard and get a lot of food out of it. Strawberries are going okay. Picking a few strawberries. Some of my just house plants are going okay. Sort of gave them a bit of dolomite as well. This is something I wanted to show you, my KJ Pinks custard apple. It's a really good variety, and as you can see, look at it, how all the branches are still hanging. It's been like that for 5 years now, because apparently it was a graft from a horizontal branch, and that makes every branch that comes out just wants to grow horizontal. So yeah, you can see I've got a stake there. Over the years where I've tried to stake these branches up, but yeah, they just keep drooping down and growing horizontal. But still, apparently that's good in the long run, because they're saying eventually, like after 4 or 5 years, it will throw up a water shoot, and that will grow from the horizontal branches, and then it'll take off. Then it'll grow upwards and be a big, heavy bearing tree. And finally this year, I'm happy to say, I've finally got my water shoot. Well, I've got a few. There it is there. It's finally shot up the side of some branches. So there's one there, there's another one, there's another one. I've got 3, and I think there's a 4th one over there somewhere too in the back there of these water shoots. So that's great. That might be a water shoot too, actually. So that's really great. I'm really pleased with that. So finally I can chop all these horizontal branches off and just let those water shoots take off. And maybe even by next spring I can finally plant this in the ground. Because I've got a spot that's going to be very shady, so it needs a tree that's, it's shady when it's short. It's got to get some height about it up the back there. It's got to get some height about it to get the sunlight. So hopefully this thing might be ready that spot by next spring, another 8 months or so. So yeah, oh yeah, and there's 2 fruit. Got 2 little fruit here. Hope you can see that. One there, and one there. And on maybe a few more fruit might come on yet too. It's still flowering. So yeah, and dragon fruit are putting out a few fruit. And I've got that Hawaiian Gold air layer cutting up there. It's going okay. Aloe vera going okay. I had some bad news. That's my beautiful papaya. It is dying. It's croaking it. It just suddenly shit itself just the other day. And it's dropping fruit. See, that fruit should get 2 or 3 times bigger. But it's just suddenly died at the tip. Just really sad. That's my really nice Thai variety. This would have been the 3rd year I had a real heavy load of fruit, but it's dropped about 10 or 15 fruit already, just dropped and too small, but some are ripening up. I suspect it's going to drop a lot more fruit soon. It is sprouting down below there. Maybe I can chop it off and put a bucket over it and salvage it, I don't know. But I think a big part of the problem is I'm losing a few papayas just here this last few years, and that's that damn satellite dish. You know, just there from the neighbours. I had some papayas only 2 metres away from that satellite dish, and they shit themselves really quick. You know, my big Hawaiian Gold here, it's looking good at the moment, but it's had problems too ever since that dish went in. So, and I'm even thinking this might be why I have my health problems, or might be a big part of it, or the whole reason, because I sleep just up there. I'm sleeping only 4 metres away from that dish. So I think now, after losing this last papaya, I think it's my final warning to move my bedroom, go to a different spot. Oh yeah, and here's a few more young papayas that are going quite well. I planted them late. I planted them around autumn last year, and they didn't get high enough to get the winter sun, so they were very sad for a long time over winter, but they've come good now, and hopefully I did that so I could get fruit at a different time of year, and I think that's going to work. And yeah, they're quite healthy now, but we'll have to see. I've got a feeling when they start getting up level with that satellite dish, they're going to shit themselves again like the last lot did. But we'll see. But anyway, that's my cue to move my bedroom, I think. See, I just sleep just up there. It's just too close. Too close to that satellite dish, I think. And look how this thing's burnt. It's burnt off on the side. It's mostly that one side facing the dish. That's where it shit itself, and it's dropped a whole heap of fruit on that side. That's amazing, eh? You know, and it was further away from the dish. I had other papayas in the same spot as these here, and they're only a few metres from the dish. Yet as soon as they got level with it, they shit themselves. But this sort of goes against my theory, doesn't it? This is looking quite healthy right now, but we'll see. This is This tree is very old. It went fantastic for years, but it's had problems. It's had a lot of problems ever since that dish went in. So within 6 months of that dish going in. So yeah, and I think its days are numbered, even though it looks good at the moment. And I should get a fair bit more fruit off it. Its days are numbered, that big Hawaiian Gold. Yeah, well, these are the Dwarf Red Papaya. Self-pollinating. Amazing strain. I've planted a lot of them now, they're all at the back. Oh yeah, and down here I've got, these are pomelos. Pomelo seeds, again all covered in dolomite. It's from an amazing pomelo. I found a pomelo fruit that was the size of a basketball. It had huge seeds in it, 3 times bigger than normal pomelo seeds. So these are all the pomelos I've grown from those seeds. Hopefully that's going to be a very good pomelo tree. And these are a couple of KJ pinks, the same as that drooping tree over there that I got from a fruit last year. So yeah, I've got 3 KJ pinks there, seeds. Oh yeah, and I was going to say, these are veggies I've been growing underneath here. They're nearly all shaded out now. Got beans there, been getting a fair few beans. Basil, perennial spinach. Yeah, more perennial spinach there and there, you can see. But it's all getting shaded out now because these papayas are really coming along with it. We're sort of getting our first few summer rains now. It's been very late, it's been incredibly dry. Everything's been growing slowly with just the tap water, but now that we're getting a few good soaks from the rain, things are taking off. Oh yeah, and I've got that last banana. I think that's a Dwarf Cavendish actually. And I think I got this borer in the stem, and that's the last one I've got left. But I had a few here over the years, and I've got some fairly good fruit, but they all started dying off, and that's the last one. And it's growing very slow. I just don't know if it's going to make it. It's going to have to get big and throw out a heap of suckers if it's going to survive. Otherwise it might shit itself too. So yeah, I'll give you a look at the back now because it's easy to get out the back. As you know, as you remember from my last update, I've had a nice easy track cut in from some people who are not friends, but they kind of did me a favour anyway, I guess. Cutting this track in anyway. Yeah, and I planted some papayas and bananas here in these old patches. And these are ladyfinger bananas. I had them in pots for years. They really needed planting out. So they're finally getting a go ahead, and hopefully there won't be any borer around here in this area. And these are Hawaiian Gold pawpaws, yellows. It's a really big tree, same as that tree I got from fruit from that big tree there, the big Hawaiian Gold. So yeah, I had 5 of those in pots. They're only like 1.5 feet tall, and in less than 2, or about a bit over 2 months ago, they're only about 1.5 feet tall in 6-inch pots, and they've really taken off now. But 3 of them are male. That one's going to be a female. That's male. As you can see, the male flowers there. I'll be chopping the males out soon. They seem to fruit quite well without the males. That was the same when I bought the plants. Actually, I bought 5 and 4 of them turned out to be males. And at first I was real disappointed in them because I thought I was buying red papaya too, and it turned out that the labels must have been wrong and they were all these Hawaiian Golds. But that is a really nice fruit. It's the nicest yellow I've ever eaten, actually. Nicest yellow papaya. So yeah, I've got a few more of them now, or 2 more of them. And I should plant some more seeds. So yeah, I got those 3 there at the back. The 2 furthest away are males. They'll be getting cut out soon. And that one there's a female. That one can stay. And yeah, I've got these in pots. These were white papayas that got ripped out when those mongrels actually broke their way in here and chopped everything out. They were growing there in the back there, or at the front there, where those vegetables were, and those other smaller papayas were in the corner. They got pulled out, so I managed to transplant them, and I only lost 1. So these 2 should be at 3, should be okay. These are all Dwarf Thais again. I'll just let them get a bit bigger in the pots, because they are enjoying the drainage, and then I'll plant them out. I find I'm having success transplanting things in just pure sugarcane mulch. That's what I've got in these things. It's kind of like a block of grow wool, actually, when it's fresh. There's very good drainage and very good aeration. And then I add a bit of manure on top, and it starts breaking down, and then it warms it as well. So as it's breaking down, it's warm and well drained, and it seems to be very good for transplanting. I've just got to be careful, because now these have kind of got to a stage where the sugarcane mulch is broken down a fair bit, and then it starts to get too wet. Then it sort of turns into a mulchy muck, which gets a bit too wet for these papaya transplants. So yeah, I've just got to cut back on the water then. They get a lot of water when they first go in, and then I cut back as it rots back. And yeah, as long as I watch out for those signs, the transplants seem to go quite well in that sugarcane mulch. Oh, and these are some beans. I've got some more beans. Getting a fair few beans here, which is good. Don't know if there's many on right now, actually, because I've been picking them off every day. Yeah, none there at the moment. But I'm getting a few. It's been quite alright. I get a few to munch on while I'm just working here. And these are some more papayas. These will be going in the ground soon. Hopefully another week or so. This is a Thai Dwarf Red that I found that I've been experimenting, doing my own selective breeding. And I find these trees don't bear as much fruit as that bigger one that shit itself that I showed you just before. It had a lot of fruit and it was just clapped out. These don't bear as much, but it's a nicer fruit, a nicer tasting fruit. So I've planted a few of those seeds, and then a month later I planted a fair few of these seeds, these papaya seeds. And these are the same strain as that heavy bearing papaya near the satellite dish that's just shit itself. So thank God I've got replacements. So yeah, I've got quite a few of these, and I'll be planting these a long way away from that satellite dish, and hopefully they're going to grow well and I'll get a lot of fruit. Well, that's the plan. if I can just clear some more of this yard. That's going to be the challenge, just clearing this yard, because it's just so overgrown and it's just way beyond me. But I bought an electric mini chainsaw. I forget what they call them. It's not your average chainsaw, it's on a big long, you can get up real high. It's got a big long extension bar on it, so I can get up high and chop the tops off those trees there, hopefully from a ladder. And that's the plan. If I'm healthy enough, I want to clear those trees there up the back there and start planting a fair few of these papaya there. So we'll see. We'll see if I'm going to be fit enough. I've got a lot of trimming to do. And hopefully with this electric machine, it'll help me to do it without exerting myself too much. So yeah, I want to chop all down behind there, behind that wall there. Clear it all out, chop it back, clear it out. And maybe even chop this area too, if I can, and clear that out as well. So yeah, things are growing well in these old patches. So yeah, those papaya too, it gets more sun there, so they're shorter than these. But they're nice and healthy, hey. They're growing very well in that soil. Yeah, and I'll pull those two males out soon and plant these ones in that spot. And yeah, they're a big papaya, or pawpaw you might call it, because they're yellows. Maybe you can't, they're not red papayas. In Australia we tend to call the yellows pawpaw. So yeah, they're a big plant. They're not even a tree actually, papayas and pawpaws, they call them a plant. Apparently that's the proper terminology. So but yeah, they'll get bigger than the house, bigger than the 2-story house in another year and a half or so. And there should be a lot of fruit, hopefully. A lot of really nice fruit. So yeah, that's one of my latest projects. Got a fair few red papaya there. So yeah, if I could get all those in the ground and spaced out nicely, that'll give me a heck of a lot of fruit. But it's just going to be a challenge to clear this ground. And yeah, this is my last soursop that's in the ground. Not soursop, black sapote. And there was 4, I've transplanted 3. Because they're all too clumped and they're in pots, and I just don't know how these 3 transplants are going to go. They've lost all their leaves, and I'm hoping they'll send out new shoots out of the stems soon. But it's been slow, nothing's happening yet. I'm a little scared I might lose them. But even if I do, I left this last one in the ground. I've sort of cleared around it, left it in the ground, and I've taken some air layers from them. So, and actually I found on the net, there was one person saying this is one of the few trees you cannot air layer. But then I saw another article with someone saying you can air layer them. So let's see, fingers crossed. I've tried to take 5 air layer grass, or maybe it's more than that. Here's a few of them there. I've only ever done a couple of air layers before. So fingers crossed. So what, yeah, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that one over there is 6. Tried to take 6 air layers. So I only did that about a week ago. So it's going to be a couple of months, and fingers crossed I'll get another 6 plants off this one, because I want about 6 or so chocolate pudding fruits, black sapotes. Oh yeah, and this has always been wanting to grow, but it's finally had a chance. There's a mulberry tree that always gets overgrown by other plants, but hopefully now I'll be able to keep everything else back. I'd like to clear all this right out eventually and just replace everything with fruit trees. And yeah, hopefully I'll let that mulberry grow in that spot. See, it goes right back there, so that's a branch it's throwing back. Maybe I'll let it all grow from there. I don't know. Just see how it goes when I clear more space. We'll let it grow from there. Yeah, so yeah, and these papayas, yeah, they're going great, but yeah, these two are coming out soon, in another week or so. I'll chop them out and mulch them. At the back here, these are Dwarf Reds. See, they're getting these things are out competing them now. So chopping these males out will be good for my little Dwarf Reds too. Give them a chance to grow bigger. And I've got more ladyfinger bananas there, so they'd appreciate the sunlight too. And yeah, beans growing underneath. More beans under there. Perennial spinach there. Basil, I've got basil in here. All getting shaded out now, so it'll really help to chop these males out and let some more sun in, and plant those smaller papaya in the same pot, in the 6-inch pots. Plant them in the same spot. So yeah, that's my update. It's been kind of exciting in a way. I've suddenly got all this new space. As you can see, I'm struggling to breathe just talking. So yeah, this new space has given me a head start, and considering things are very bad, you know, I'm in a lot of trouble for that stuff that was growing in here. In really deep shit, actually. I'm just doing the best I can with what I got, as always. Trying to stay positive, and yeah, just take advantage of this new ground. I've wanted this new ground for a long time to grow fruit trees. So suddenly I've got a little bit, and you know, I'm still around in 6 or 8, 10 months, 12 months, a year and a half. I'll really benefit from these things. 2 years, I'll really benefit from these trees. So, and fingers crossed I'll have enough strength to clear the rest of this stuff. This vine is just terrible. It's just completely beyond me. But my mate helped me get right on top of it. And this is one of the only areas it's left now, actually. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get right into this, because it just goes crazy, that vine. Hopefully I'll be able to get right into it soon and chop it right back and defeat it, because it's, you know, it used to be in the whole yard, and now it's pretty well cleared out of everywhere for now, but it'll come back in just a couple of years if I don't keep on it. See, look, there's some up in that tree there now, and give that time, another 6 months, that'll be thick, just thick of that vine. And the funny thing is, it's edible too. Apparently it's not a noxious or poisonous weed. Those leaves are edible. And you can eat the roots too, the roots of these things. They grow like big sweet potatoes. But look, it's just so rampant. It's not the right plant to grow in this sort of area, because it just rains too much. Perhaps in real dry desert areas it'd be a good plant to grow as a food plant. But in areas with, like here we get about 50 inches a year, and it just grows too fast and defeats everything. Oh yeah, see, I got a mango in there. I'd love to have a chance. I can cut everything back enough and give it a chance to grow a bit. So yeah, that's my update. Kinda, so yeah, and that black sapote's looking alright at the moment, eh? It's grown quite well now that I've cleared some of the bushes back a bit. And the mulberry's grown quite well. Now I can suddenly get a bit of sunlight. Yeah, so fingers crossed. There's some positive things going on amongst all the negativity. So yeah, I've got to clear all that stuff back soon too. So the more sun gets in, it's sort of growing over the top of those papaya. Shading that garden out, so got to clear it back. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Yeah, this is the backyard. We finally get a good look at the backyard. Quite a jungle, isn't it? Oh yeah, that's a red cedar, that tree too. It's quite nice, eh? And maybe even all going well, if things go the way I want, I'll be chopping all those trees out and replacing them with fruit trees. So we'll just see. Time will tell. Time will tell. Okay, maybe even I'll go to Asia if I'm really lucky. Go and spend my last days in Asia. That's where I'd like to be. Okay, my friends. Thanks for watching. Signing off. Bye for now.